Hello, Guild Education. My name is John Iacovetta, and this is a quick lesson on the preterite tense, how to conjugate Spanish verbs into the preterite tense. In this particular lesson, the objective is going to be focusing on conjugating regular AR, ER, and IR verbs from the infinitive into the preterite tense. So what is the preterite tense? The preterite tense is one of two forms of the past tense in Spanish, the other being the imperfect tense. In the preterite tense, we use the preterite tense to discuss an action which has been completed, like he ate a sandwich or I worked all day. It happened once, it's over, it's not ongoing, it's done. The preterite tense is a simple tense, meaning that it's only one word, like yo hablé a mi padre ayer, yesterday. Okay. So there are some steps to conjugating verbs into the preterite tense in Spanish, just like there are steps in the present tense. So step one is to reduce the verb to its stem. We take it from the infinitive form and we reduce it to its stem, and we do this by removing the AR, the ER, or the IR from the verb. So with AR verbs, we take out the AR, like in hablar, we take off the AR and we're wound up with hable. Okay, or tomar, take it off, we have tom. Okay, and then we add the appropriate ending based on who the verb is referring to, whoever has completed this action, okay, the pronoun. So in the first person form, the yo form is an E with an accent over it, has to have an accent over it or it changes the meaning of the word. Okay, second person form, the tu form is haste. The third person or the second person formal form, if you're addressing somebody with some authority or someone that you respect, you would use this form as well. So third person or the second person formal form for él, ella, or usted is O, an O with an accent on top of it. Again, the accent needs to be there for the correct meaning to be conveyed to the listener. And then the plural forms, first person plural, we, nosotros, we add amos to the end. For you all, in Latin America, we add aron, A-R-O-N, to the end. And for third person, ellos, ellas, them, they, we add aron. They did that. So quick example, if we just look at this table for hablar, okay, we have yo hablé, tú hablaste, ella habló, nosotros hablamos, ustedes hablaron, or ellos hablaron. Okay, really simple. Really simple, and it's the best way to practice it is to just pick a verb, find a regular verb, and remove the ending and add each of these new endings into the preterite tense. It's just this is just a matter of memorization. So this next slide is a little bit of practice. I would ask the students to in a video format, I would ask them, go around and probably cold call and ask each of them to try to conjugate each of these verbs into the proper form. So caminar would be yo caminé, tú escuchaste, él bailó, nosotros miramos, ustedes gritaron, and ellas tomaron. Moving on, conjugating ER verbs and IR verbs, regular ER and IR verbs into the preterite tense. The first step is the same. We take off the ending, the ER or the IR ending, to reduce the verb to its stem. So if we had beber, which means to drink, we would take off the ER and we'd be left with beb, or vivir, to live, we have viv, and then again we add some letters based on who we're talking about. If we're talking about ourselves in the first person, okay, it's different for ER and AR verbs. Or ER and IR verbs, excuse me, we add an I with an accent. Okay, second person is iste. Third person, second person formal is yo, I-O with an accent over it. If we don't have the accent, the word becomes io, and it's a completely different meaning depending on the word. First person plural, nosotros, we, imos. Second person Latin American is ustedes and yeron, I-E-R-O-N. And same for third person plural, yeron. So for a couple of examples, we have the same verbs beber and vivir in this particular table, and you can see you remove the stem, you add the correct ending based on who you're talking about. Yo bebí, yo viví, tú viviste, etc. Ustedes bebieron, ellas vivieron. It's a really simple formula, and it is applicable for all of these regular verbs in Spanish, and it's helpful in general everyday conversation. So just to wrap up real quick, there would be one more practice for the ER and IR verbs. That same thing, I would have students kind of I would call on each student in a video setting and ask them to contribute their answer to the question. Yo escribí, tú recibiste, él debo, nosotros entendimos, ustedes respondieron, ellas asumieron, etc. And then the lesson itself would wrap up with a short assessment, which would ask them how to, what do we use the preterite for specifically, and then conjugate some verbs in all 6 of the forms: yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, ustedes, and ellos and ellas. And just as a quick self-assessment and a gauge for how quickly they learned. Then the lesson would continue on to irregular verbs, the tricky stuff. Thank you.